Welcome to She Who Wrenches, a Mercy-verse reread-along podcast. I'm Brittany.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Kelly.
Today we're mostly talking about Moon Called, but everything through Blind Date with a Werewolf is fair game, including fair game. Spoiler howl.
Ow! Ow!
In case you don't remember, this is the one where you first meet Mercy Thompson, the shape-changing mechanic who rescues the handsome Prince Adam twice. Today we're starting with Chapter 5, Mercy Takes Adam to Aspen Creek. But first, we need a little recap from Recap Guy.
Hey, I know that guy.
And now it's time for Recap Guy!
So we meet Mercy, and she's like a shape-shifting coyote thing, and he's like, oh, I'm going to put this transmission in Jeddah, but there's a werewolf knocking at my door. You better go see what he wants. And so she meets this little Matt guy, and he's like, oh, I'm a werewolf, and I don't know what to do. I need some bucks, so can I do some She Who Wrenches with you? He's like, oh. She's like, oh, sure, yeah, do whatever. Here, I'll pay you. And then people come to take him away, and she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bite you in the neck and kill you. Thing bleeds out in the street, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go do something at Alpha's pack house, and oh, strange things are afoot here, and there's a dead werewolf at my door, and looks like the Alpha here's been teabagged. I better take him to Aspen Creek. And so
That's about it.
that's about it.
And that specific recap delights me because I recently sent you a photo of a Circle K in Mercy's hometown,
Yeah.
verifying that at the moment there were no strange things afoot. So I just need to. Well, also another thing I think about these that people get introduced to is Tri-Cities,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't know it, think it's weird it's referred to that way, all that kind of stuff. Like, you can, if you tell somebody Tri-Cities, it's sort of like a like other metropolitan areas. Like, if somebody asks you where you're from, like you're from Portland or you're from New York or you're from wherever, and then you get like something more specific later. I'm from Portland. Okay, where? Beaverton or Gresham, which are suburbs of Portland, or place, like a specific neighborhood in New York or things like that. So Tri-Cities encompasses a whole lot of space, even if it's not not necessarily super densely populated. But as far as I can tell, as a person who grew up near there and did spend a lot of time there, like, everything that she's describing is legit about all of the parts of it that I know. Like, this is the edge of an iffy part of town, and the railroad tracks run through here, and spud nuts are delicious, and all those kinds of things are there's a park here called Howard Amon Park, and all these places and things, like, they're all real places. They're all actual things you can go and see and do, and to various levels enjoy, depending on what they are. So for me, that was the part that I thought might be interesting to other people, is like, well, as much of this book is, we'll put air quotes around fictional because we don't know. Then aside from that, like those pieces of it are completely real. And so that's just one of the things that I kind of wanted to verify. I can't verify the rest of it, but it's got a lot of sprawl because there were periods where it grew really fast. And one of the things that happens when things grow really fast, especially when you have a lot of space, is that things just go on and on and on. So as far as like square mileage or something, I don't know, but it's the three cities are Richland and Pasco and Kennewick, and all three of them take up like kind of a lot of space, and it's, even when there's like not a lot of traffic to worry about, it can still be 15 or 20 minutes or more to get from where you are to where you're going, and still not leave the Tri-City area, because a lot of stuff just sort of sprawled out and nobody put a lot of planning into density or anything like that. So some of the older parts of town,
we know a little bit about
water.
Towns that are separated by rivers and need bridges. And once you only have two of them, like, now you're in real trouble.
Yes.
All right. So we start off with them driving off into the snow set.
Vanagon training to Montana, I believe.
Yeah.
With two werewolves and a coyote, which that is the most unbelievable part, that it could haul those two things. A Vanagon. Like, I can get behind werewolves.
Like uphill.
Uphill in the snow.
Yeah, a Vanagon uphill is testing the limits of reality. I
Let alone a
personally,
200-something-pound werewolf.
I would hitch the
Yeah.
Vanagon to the werewolves and mush them through.
yes.
I think Mac was in human form.
Yeah,
So he wouldn't weigh as much.
yeah.
Reasons.
But then on the way back with Adam
He's
and
still
Samuel,
another,
like,
yeah, he's still another 100 pounds worth of weight. And
yeah,
yeah, that I will say that tested mine as well. Knowing what the drive is like from Kennewick uh, to Idaho, regardless of which direction you go, because I've done it a few different ways. Yeah, that I
It's
wondered
not
about
flat, is
that
what you're
part
saying.
myself. No.
yeah.
I mean, at first, like I could see somebody hopping in a Vanagon and yelling road trip and getting a bunch of snacks and setting out for Montana and feeling like that was going to be a thing that was possible because where Tri-Cities is relatively is flat. Like there's an occasional uphill downhill, but it's a real gentle kind of a thing and it's not a hill like most people think of hills. This is high desert. So at some point when you get out of town and you start having to really contend with elevation changes, like yeah, that took a while, like in realistic terms. Because
Yeah.
yes, I honestly believe there were going to be points when Mercy was going to think to herself, would it help if I got out and pushed? Because you know what, it
Yeah.
might.
And also when you add inclement weather to it too, like that's
Yeah,
Just
now we've
fun
got
change.
snow and come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta hook up the werewolves and pull the thing through the pass there.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been the much more efficient decision. Yeah.
So,
Hook up the Brannigan.
oh my.
Hey, you need more puns, right?
Well, I mean,
apparently.
if you hook brand to it, that's what you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brannigan.
No.
Mhm.
No lies detected, I guess.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
So Mercy goes to get food. I think this is our first indication of, I mean, she's concerned about feeding Mac and stuff, but like really how much an injured werewolf needs to eat when they laugh at how many burgers she ordered.
Yeah, it's like 30.
And then she ate like 3 or 4, I think. Like ate a couple and then came back and ate a couple more or something. And then like
Adam
all
like
the rest went in the back.
20 down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, at least he didn't eat at McDonald's.
Okay.
Just keep going, Brittany.
You told me to bring the heat, and
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And maybe at some point you will.
Oh, shots have been fired.
Nice.
Or maybe I've just been fired. I don't know.
Or was it darts?
Could be dart.
Dart guns.
Yeah.
Might have been a dart.
But that's a Chrysler product, so.
So we get the worst ever high school reunion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Going back to the hometown where
Mhm.
nobody liked you anyway.
yeah.
Nobody was a fan, and now here I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Maroc's wife wants to carry a new one.
Quite literally.
Literally.
Roll, I believe. Yeah. Well, and I mean, that felt a little, I think anyway, it felt a little universal just in the, like, this is where I grew up and spent a significant portion of my young life. And now seeing it through the eyes of somebody who hasn't been there in a long time, it feels really different, but the same. And even if everybody liked you, it's still awkward.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's totally
all of that felt really like, oh, I've absolutely been there.
and her perception is that people don't like her, but like there are lots of people there that we run into, like the guy at the motel and Doc Wallace, that are like really excited to see her. And I think it reminds, so my dad's from a really small town too. And he's one of 4 twins that are 20 months apart. So growing up, they were all 4 of them called the twins. Everyone in town just called them the twins.
Mhm.
And so he was talking about something one time, and he was like, yeah, I don't think anybody even knew my name. And I was like, Dad, they know your name. It's not that big of a town. They know your name. And I know this because I stopped at a random house when I got lost. Did I tell this story on here already?
No.
I just got lost because, small towns, roads aren't marked because everyone knows where everything is anyway. And
Agreed.
I just stop at a random house. I was like, "Hi, I'm daughter. I'm looking for my grandpa's house and I'm lost. Can you give me directions?" He's like, "Oh yeah, so you just go over here. How's your dad doing, by the way?" It's just like he thought people didn't know who he was. People knew who he was. Like you get the impression nobody likes you, and I'm sure plenty of people didn't like her. One tries to kill her in this book,
Yeah.
but some
Yes.
people still did.
Yeah. I bet being a twin, people may be worried about getting them wrong. So they knew these two's names and they knew these
didn't
two's
look
names.
alike at all.
but-
They all look
Oh.
very different.
Oh, well then, yeah. Yeah,
I think it
then
was
I
just
got
fun
nothing.
to call them all the twins.
Yeah, I mean that does make it easier, I suppose. That was one thing that I noticed was, oh, it's gonna be terrible because nobody likes me and I left in a huff and whatever. But like virtually every interaction that she has with anybody sort of randomly, like you said, the guy at the hotel, um, Doc Wallace, like she has these interactions with people and none of it is you got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled. Like, no.
Yeah.
Though the one woman on the phone was kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
But
But-
still, like, we're at like a 50% hit rate. So
But it was still like, it wasn't like, get out of here, you suck. I'm not telling you anything because you're such an awful human
Right.
being.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but
it
for the
wasn't,
non-Cornics,
none of it
we're
was
at like
any
a
of that.
50%
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was the thing I thought was interesting was like, I think maybe her perception, but I think also maybe a lot of people moved on and hadn't held on to it the way that she had thought they would.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Was a
And
whole lot of, oh yeah, I remember her. Like not good or bad, just like that name is familiar. Didn't she go around with,
but
Yeah.
it's also like that's how perception works. If 50% of the people don't like you, it sure feels like 90% don't.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
feel that.
Because people who like you or are ambivalent about you aren't necessarily going to go out of their way to be like, "Hi, I don't care one way or the other," or "I think you're just fine." But somebody who doesn't like you is absolutely going to make sure that you know about it.
And it
Yeah.
sticks out.
So here we are in beautiful downtown Aspen Creek.
Now for our totally not fake sponsor.
This episode brought to you by the Aspen Creek Chamber of Commerce.
Can you imagine? They try to keep everyone away from that.
I know who's about to. Yeah. I can't wait to hear the ad that they place in the next
put a big-
episode, Eric.
Make a shirt about it. Like Aspen Creek Chamber of Commerce and a big sign that says "Go away."
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to see
Aspen
here.
Creek. Aspen Creek Tourism Board. These aren't the wolves you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also did learn about their annual tradition to change people on Halloween.
Or Halloween.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There I got the
Mhm.
quote from Kelly. All right.
Where they change people every year, and lots of people don't make it, so everyone's always really sad at Thanksgiving.
Because people don't have a hard enough time
Yeah.
with weird family dinners at the end of November. We're going to add this layer of complexity on top of the weird uncle that voted incorrectly. And
I'm sure there's lots of seasonal affective disorder in Montana. Like maybe do it for your like 1 month of summer.
4th of July, declare independence from humanity. Like, come on, you can do better. You can do better.
It just really makes for the most awkward Thanksgiving.
Our July 4th for our four-legged fathers. Yeah, Kelly's got a.
Well, I mean, some of them are good. You have your moments. Not many, but you
They're
do
not
have
all
them.
winners. One would be nice, but we'll see if we get there.
It's interesting timing because you're still going to be sad at Christmas too. Like, let's be really clear.
Yeah, you're not over it. Yeah.
No, mourning periods are actually quite long.
Yeah, longer than a month. Yeah. So we show up and she doesn't know what to do with him. If I'm remembering correctly, she's like, I guess I'll take him to the hotel because I know they've got a secret,
Safe room.
not so secret room that's like wolf proofed.
A safe room where everyone else is safe.
Yeah, that kind of safe room.
Yeah, before a dominant can get there to
Yeah.
keep him in line.
She's a human, help her get out the body or get out the atom,
Yeah, unload the
Yeah.
atom.
tie up the muzzle.
Yeah.
When we go to the woods, we are introduced to Samuel, which is like old flame. I feel like that's pretty.
Really old flame.
Yeah.
There are not many older.
No, like
Was he born in
Yeah.
2-digit years?
Yeah.
Or
he her old flame might have been around when fire was first created. We don't know.
Might have been, yeah.
actually, I just heard a story about when fire was first created
Oh.
by people. And it looks like it was primarily Neanderthal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Flintstones.
Yeah, before they thought it was like 50,000 years ago. Anyway, I don't think he's that old.
Not quite, but
We don't know, because one of the other things that they make clear in this book is that the older a werewolf gets, the less likely they are to talk about their
the past.
long
Yeah.
and storied history.
Mhm.
And we
And they
also
changed
hear
their
about,
names and
that like the older they get, the also like the older they get, the worse they are at measuring time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense. I mean, that's true for me, and I'm, not 1,000.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like the last, let's pick a random number, 5 years have
Oh.
destroyed a lot of people's perceptions of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does not, that was another one of those moments of like, I know that you're trying to like set some parameters and do some supernatural world building, but I feel that because the 90s were 10 years ago. It is known. You
I mean,
know?
I'm actually really impressed how many things like set up for world building, like that, like the needing just lots of little things stayed
Mhm.
consistent. Like a first book is a first book. And I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure her longest series before this was like 2 books, maybe 3. So the fact that it's been so long lasting and so many things that were set up, and there's a couple things here and there, they're like, oh, that's not quite the way they landed with that in the end, or she landed with that in the end. But like it's pretty accurate. And I'm impressed with that.
Yeah, and I also liked that we don't necessarily have a whole bunch of asides about, like, in some cases, part of what I'm reading a book for is the world building, and it's it's a thing I enjoy about the Lord of the Rings. It's a thing that I enjoy about some of the other series that I have read is some of the world building piece of it. But sometimes I just want to, like, I'm just trying to find out what happens, or like the interesting thing to me is the character or a couple of characters and like what's going on with them, and so I don't care about all the world building stuff. So when you take an aside and you give me an entire chapter on the customs of how all these people sit around a table at a festival or whatever, like, I don't care. And it's really frustrating because there's going to be some plot in there somewhere that I'm going to have to pick up, but I feel like I'm having to sit through something boring. And so one of the things I like about how this one is done is that it's things like werewolves got to eat. So I drove through McDonald's and 40 hamburgers later, here we are. Like, it's just sort of laid there for you to pick up as part of what else is going on. And the point of it is not, I got out my werewolf handbook and this is what I read. And then we get, pages and pages of rules and requirements and whatever else. Like, we're not doing any of that. And so that's one of the things that I appreciate about reading these, is that the point of them is what's happening with the people and the other characters that they have and the adventures, and it's not so much about the world.
All along those lines, I think I have a suspicion that Patty is bored by very similar things to what I am bored by. And so she just skips over it, or like, okay, I gotta like carefully put this in so that I don't overboard somebody.
Yeah.
Although if I have somebody with a really short attention span, I still consider introducing them to Bloodbound first. Because once you're invested, then sometimes you want to go back and hear the world building stuff. Like, I don't know. Some shows I got into them in the middle, and it's sort of like maybe want to go back and learn more. But anyway.
Well, and I think part of that is one of the things about this book when I went back to it, knowing everything, because I read all the rest of the books and came back when I did the first time I reread them. That was one of the things that I noticed was it's not like it's forever. It's not a whole chapter. It's not page after page after page of stuff like that. But realizing that we occasionally stop explain a thing and then move on and then stop and explain a thing and then keep going. And that was one of the things that on the second time through that made me go, yeah, maybe Bloodbound is the way to do it, because your introduction is you just kind of meet everybody and we're off to the races, because every book has an aside about who's Mercy, who's Adam.
But they're short.
Once they're married, that they're married. But sometimes it's all you need, at least initially. Like, okay, this is her deal. This is her deal. This is his deal.
Yeah.
We're off to the races. And sometimes that's the only part that you need. And I understand. And one of the things that I appreciate later on, I get frustrated when they're the only things I'm reading. And I'm like, I know, but but if you come into any of those books, you get a decent handle on who they are, and there's mentions of things that happen in the other books and whatever that you can then use to go back and fill things in if you want to. And it's funny because those mentions get weirder as the books go on, like you know. So when after I hung up with Baba Yaga, we went off to wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You only lost how much time in
Yeah.
under
How long were you gone?
Yeah.
That month I was gone one afternoon. That's when all of that went down, and I didn't know. So yeah.
But there is some stuff that legitimately needs to be explained. Like, I'm
Yes.
sorry, there's werewolves and fae, and people just like know about the fae, or like if you weren't very up on your fairy tales, like what's a fae? And like, oh right, they came out of the closet in the 80s. Like,
Then there's also
so we're in an alternate timeline. Got it.
Yes.
Because I don't remember the fae coming out in the 80s. So
I don't either.
okay. I liked some of the images of the motel. Like, I've been to that motel
I think we all have.
that advertises it has a color TV when years that start with 2.
You generally do not go to that hotel. You end up at that hotel.
Oh, right. No. It is not a destination.
Mm-mm. I'm tired, and they're no.
the whole year
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'm nodding off, and that sign's no is also off. So I'm pulling in.
It's better than the car, so
Yeah. By how much?
yeah.
Difficult to say.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, this is the color TV, free HBO kind of a thing.
Now with sheets.
There's only like 3 keys that open every room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is their password also password?
But with 2
1,
S's,
2,
so
3, 4.
nobody will guess. Yeah.
It's password 1. You need numbers and letters. Apparently, still the most common ones are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes,
On the newest report.
they are.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing. Anyway, off of cybersecurity.
That's a separate podcast.
That's another thing you wanted to mention was about when we were listening to it the other night was I looked on the caller ID and saw.
Oh no, they must have caller ID.
Yeah, they must
And I
have
was like,
caller ID.
Caller ID.
I was like, oh,
I
that's
remember,
fancy new invention.
I remember when that was a feature, not a given.
It's the future.
Yes. It's been years ago now, but many years after caller ID became basically standard for everybody. I remember my aunt called me and I said something, and she asked if I had called earlier. And I said, well, yeah, didn't you see it on the caller ID? And she said, well, we don't have caller ID. And I said, are you calling me from the 90s? Like, what's going on?
Or remember the
How
old
can-
goody star
How
69?
can that be? Yes.
To see who called last.
Wow.
Yeah. There are a couple of things like that in these that definitely nail them down to a specific time. Like,
Yeah.
And again, I can only take it as in this alternate timeline, technology progresses faster because the Fae are out.
Yeah.
Also, that Daryl has a pager.
yes.
He has a cell phone
That
and
was-
a pager number.
And a pager number. Yes.
I mean, that's a
And-
very specific window of time.
It
Unless
is.
you were a physician.
Yeah.
I worked at an answering service during that specific period of time.
Oh, wow.
And it was it was very interesting the kinds of, because this was also the era of the pager initially was like it went off and it was just understood you would call a number and go pick up a message from somebody. But then they came out with pagers that had a display on them that would show you the number that you were supposed to call. So you could be set up to have like different contact numbers that you needed to call for something. Then they came out with the ones that would let you send a message, and there was a character limit on what you could send, but you could get one. I had one of those because I worked at the answering service and got a deal on the plan that would let you send text to a pager. And yeah, one day I'll tell you stories about working at the answering service, but yeah, it was a whole entire thing. And yeah, that era that era was very interesting on several fronts for many reasons.
So my 15-year-old flame, who was only 3 years older than me instead of like 1,000, did have a pager, and Caitlin and I pranked it on many occasions. Mostly Caitlin, but yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
It was worth $0.25 to do from a payphone.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what year it was. It was payphone and pagers years.
Yeah, that's one of those very specific windows of time. Like when I discovered the existence of the Sex Pistols' first album on 8-track, like that is also a very specific period of time. The 8-track and the Sex Pistols overlapped. That's another one of those.
Jerky
Like
Boys is a very specific period.
Next week on the Nostalgia Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might even talk about werewolves on that one.
We just said they don't get nostalgic. So it'll be a short conversation. That part of what I thought was interesting about this one, like, and maybe I'm just remembering badly, was I don't remember there being a lot of decision. Like there wasn't a lot of Mercy sitting down and going, well, I can't help him. There's only so much I can do to help a wolf in this bad a shape. So obviously the only thing I can do is haul him to my hometown. You know, like I don't remember that I don't remember there being like a go through that process. It's just we're in the van and I'm in the drive-through going 40 hamburgers, please. Like it seems like
it was not a decision.
Quickly.
It was needs help, can't come from me. Okay, Vanagon it is.
And she's worried about somebody in the pack might be
that was
them. So that was basically the decisions. Like, but you
I don't think anyone would be dominant enough to control him anyway, though.
Yeah.
So they would have had to, but they could have set his arm first. Because
they would have tried for about 10 minutes.
Was not setting the leg.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because since he's supposed to be the like chillest werewolf.
Yeah.
And his first thing he does is like, you should have fixed this leg.
He does have to re-break it, so it's more.
I get that, but also like you're the doctor. If you didn't teach her to fix a broken leg, then who did?
Not
if she
everybody
doesn't
knows how
have
to
basic
set
first
a broken
aid.
leg.
Yeah. If she went around with a doctor for long enough that it was a problem that they were together and that she needed to leave town, and she didn't get some basic werewolf level first aid, which I feel like is a much bigger category than it is for mere mortal first aid. If she doesn't learn any first or second aid, because first aid is helping others, second aid is helping yourself. If she doesn't learn basic werewolf first and second aid in that whole time frame, then like he needs to solve for a larger problem, and that problem is him.
I like that the first thing Adam does is like, even though he's half conscious, is like, Samuel, I'm gonna growl at you.
Growls at him.
Yeah. I feel like there's very much a default mode grumpy is kind of like, I feel like they're kind of always mad about something. Like anytime.
Yeah.
You know, everybody changes back to human just so they can yell at somebody, or like as soon as they're a wolf, they're growling about something because they're mad about whatever it is. And even before you get into all of the dominance and stuff, like there's a whole lot of this stuff that ends up happening. So yeah. So Adam's awake, mad at everybody, and Mercy's like in another room nearby, like stressing out about all of it.
Yeah.
Mad at some people and convinced that everybody's mad at her, which we know isn't true.
Oh. So we hear her and Samuel talk.
Yeah.
But does Bran come first or?
No, Samuel comes first.
Okay.
Sam comes first, yeah.
He's like, can I talk to you? And you get the whole awkward, like, oh, I tried not to touch them, but they noticed I tried not to touch them. And like, it's all very relatable. If you've ever been in an awkward relationship.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you ever been in a not awkward relationship?
No.
Okay.
Are there such things?
Don't look over here.
But
it is relatable in like it ended badly and now we have to talk to each other again for whatever reason, whether it's like most people, even on a friendship level, most people have had that like this person and I are through with whatever level of relationship it is that we have, but there's this final or some sort of like subsequent thing, like, here's your box of stuff, I had this thing I needed to return to you, we worked together and now we have to do this thing, whatever. Like lots of people have had that interaction, so yeah, it was definitely a relatable thing, werewolf or not. Like and
this is when we find out why
this was really
he was
weird
into
last
her.
time.
Yeah.
Which was like, so I wasn't so much into you as into like the fact that
your
you
parts
could give me kids.
Yeah.
It's you or us, not you or you.
Just wanted to get a litter.
Wanted a whole litter.
Want a whole litter and like, oh, you're one sick pup.
Anyway, she's like, definitely it was still right for me to leave. I'll be real clear about that. Then Bran comes in after Samuel leaves.
Yeah.
And gives like a little more backstory. He's like, so I think his wolf also thought of you as his mate. Yeah. So think about that. And it's so manipulative. And I know that's Bran's thing, but it's so like, okay, I know I really didn't want you guys to be together and it's totally for the wrong reasons, but like, he might commit suicide. So maybe you should get together with him after all.
It really felt like he tiptoed right up to the edge of, would you just do me a solid? Like, it's like he got right there and didn't say it. It was very like, I'm going to ask you to do me a solid without asking you to do me a solid.
Yeah, like maybe think really about the other things that aren't so bad.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't so terrible now that I think about it. Yeah. As a person with no concept of time, now that I've had some time to reflect. Yeah, it was very. I feel like
tell you the unterrible part.
Yeah.
Of the two, that was the more awkward conversation, I think.
Which is he's not a mere 60 years older than you.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've never heard Bran talk about the past this much. And we're like,
Yeah.
I think that's your first, like, I want more of your backstory.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, yeah. But, what's a few centuries if you love each other, right?
Except he didn't love her, except as a, like, friend.
Yeah.
When they hash that out a couple of books later, it's very entertaining to listen to the two of them be so grumpy about it. It's really fun.
Oh, but no, that's a highlight of that book that is hard to read. They have their food. She calls him a delivery boy.
Yeah, calls Bran the delivery boy because he looks
which is a description that is hung on him in this book and persists through the series.
It is. So the next morning, we meet the werewolf that I'm pretty sure would be my fate if I were turned.
No.
Somebody said, would you like to be a werewolf? I'm like, that's fine, but you'd have to kill me because I think I'd go Dr. Wallace. Really stubborn, vegetarian. Like,
I know, I just need that first rabbit.
We've had many conversations about this, like the conditions under which we might consider going werewolf.
Yeah.
I don't know your feelings on it, Kelly.
On me going?
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't sound appealing because the 15 minutes of waiting
Mhm.
is not my idea of a good time. Like,
Yeah, changing
that's a
and
long
excruciating
time
pain.
to have to, yeah.
To be in
That's a,
agony.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To be in agony, to not find something else to do, to not, to just have to wait it out. Like, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Listen to your own bones crunch and reshape and
Yeah.
oh, that's the thing, because when you become a werewolf, it fixes a lot of your ailments. It's like, I don't know if I'm willing to give up the Parkinson's because it's done wonders.
That's the main reason we've discussed it for you.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, if there's a werewolf nearby, I can't run right now, so
Well,
come on,
have
take a bite.
have you considered Stefan? Because
Oh,
he had a, yeah, you
Yeah,
could
but
be,
Yeah.
it's neurological, not bloodborne.
yeah, but that doesn't mean it might not help.
hmm, yeah.
I think the werewolf
But
healing would be a better bet.
I would want to see the sun though. I don't want.
Yeah. Seeing the sun is
Yeah.
pretty great.
I don't know that I want to be nocturnal.
Okay, my brain just went down a wild tangent. Anyway, it was Mercy Thompson related, just not
Really? Oh.
called.
Oh.
Well, it was all of the day walking vampires seem to have exchanged
Yeah.
Fey blood at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that seems to be the way, and in Bonarata has access to lots of
Faye.
partial Fey
Yeah.
at least.
Mhm.
And Wolf has some Fey blood.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
was it Blackwood?
Blackwood had fed on was
Yeah.
feeding on the Fey that
Yeah.
he had. And
Thomas. Yeah.
Thomas Howe had the
Oh,
Fey
yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fey seems to be
Yeah.
the cure for werewolves to breed and the cure for vampires to see the
Yeah.
sun.
So Faye is like
It's like they're magic.
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna make it past Doc Wallace this week.
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
because it's about
I
time
don't-
for
I
Kelly
don't-
to go. It looks
yeah.
like.
We're not. So, yeah. But
So we made it pretty far. We
made it
discussed a
there.
little bit of the book.
we did. We made it there, and she meets up with Doc Wallace. And they
Yeah,
have, we can just talk about it real quick. They have a lovely conversation.
in which she wants
and-
to leave town forever again.
Yeah. And she's like, when he's like, oh, it's nice to see you. And she's like, simmer down, I'm not staying. Like, no.
And she's like, I'd like to say nice to see you, but it's actually haunted by nightmares. So because he not doing so hot.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I can't do this yet. And then like a few sentences later, he's like, yeah, I think I need to be killed soon. I was like, oh, you're holding on to both of those ideas simultaneously, are you?
Yeah. And was real casual about it was the thing that I noticed. Was like, yeah, so my clock's a ticking. See you later.
Yeah.
What?
And she doesn't even recognize him at first because he's all young and stuff. And
Yeah, because he doesn't look like the version that she knew.
and it sets off a lot of other stuff, but we don't have time for that today.
Nope.
But we will talk about all of that later.
And make it other far we make it next time.
We'll see if we can cover 2 pages next week.
We covered more than 2 pages.
We did more than 2 pages.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if we made it through a whole chapter or not.
Well, I thought it was at least a couple because we made it all the way there
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
and fed him, and we've had 2 pivotal conversations out of the way.
Goblins Gossip Corner.
I want to propose pitching a question. If anybody has ideas, you can leave them in the comments, whatever. I'd say message us, but we don't have any way to message us yet.
You can send it to our pager.
What would you put on the Aspen Creek Chamber of Commerce if it were up to you?
What is the Chamber of Commerce slogan?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the Chamber of Commerce for Aspen Creek slogan? And next time we'll start on whatever is after the Doc Wallace conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Kelly.
All right. We'll see you next time. Big Howl.
Oh!